we know that radioactive radiation is used to cure cancer. Now, how is it done? Well, cancer causing cells are exposed to radioactive radiation. As a result, the cells are killed and we are cured of cancer. Now, this is done in a very controlled environment where only cancer causing cells are exposed to radioactive radiation. But if healthy cells are exposed to radioactive radiation, they will also have the same effect. So, radioactive radiation can kill healthy as well as diseased cells. So, it does not discriminate. Because we expose only diseased cells, so we are cured of cancer. And uncontrolled exposure to radioactive radiation can cause problems in our body too. So, radioactive radiation has the capacity to kill living tissues. And not only that, radiation can also modify the genes inside the living cells. So, apart from actually killing the tissues, it can also modify the genes, which can create problems for future generations of ours. So, what happens inside the human body? Now, inside the human body, when the human cells are exposed to small amount of radiation, then they get damaged, but they are repaired by the body over time. But the same cells, when they get exposed to high amount of radiation, then this damage is severe and permanent, and body is not able to repair this damage. So these cells are permanently damaged, and this is the effect of radioactive radiation on human cells. So let's understand what are some short-term recoverable effects and long-term irrecoverable effects of nuclear radiation. So short-term recoverable effects are diarrhea, sore throat, loss of hair, nausea, etc. So all these are short-term recoverable effects. As we saw, when cells are exposed to small amount of radiation, then the effect is recoverable. So we see these symptoms in that case. Now there can be long-term irrecoverable effects too, because when the exposure is pretty high, then cells are permanently damaged. So in that case, we can suffer from diseases such as leukemia and cancer. Now, apart from that, as we know that exposure to radioactive radiation can also modify genes in the body, and as a result, genetic effects such as birth defects can occur. Now, you will notice that short-term recoverable effects such as diarrhea, sore throat, loss of hair, nausea, etc., as well as long-term irrecoverable effects such as leukemia and cancer are actually effects directly on the person exposed to the radiation. But genetic effects such as birth defects actually affect the later generations of the person. So you see, damages due to nuclear radiation can be directly on the person, as well as it can pass on from generation to generation. So exposure to nuclear radiation can be very dangerous for human beings. Now the question is, how do we get exposed to such high amount of nuclear radiation? Well, one reason can be radioactive fallout. Radioactive fallout from nuclear plants and other sources can lead to uncontrolled exposure. So if there is a nuclear plant which leaks due to some reason, then all the radioactive material that leaks out of the plant can create severe health issues for people exposed to them. So nuclear power plants are major sources of electricity in the world. So there are many nuclear power plants around the world. Now, accident in such plants can release large amounts of radioactive material and radiation into the atmosphere. So the atmosphere can directly get affected by the radioactive fallout from nuclear plants, and as a result, the radiation can spread in a large geographical area. Now, another way in which we can get exposed to nuclear radiation is because of improper disposal of nuclear waste. Now, fuel rods in power reactors are rejected once their activity decreases. So different fuel rods which are radioactive material are used in nuclear reactors. Now over time their activity decreases, so they are rejected. Now where do we throw all these radioactive waste? Well, these rods are still quite radioactive, and their improper disposal can lead to contamination of water and soil, affecting humans and other living organisms. So if this particular waste is not properly disposed, if it is disposed in an area where there is a large population, lot of people are getting exposed to that waste, then it can create serious health issues in living organisms. So it's very important that disposal of nuclear waste is proper. All the proper protocols are followed when disposing nuclear waste. Now, how do we protect ourselves from such an exposure? Well, there are some safety rules for handling radioactive material. So first is that special lead lined aprons and lead gloves should be used. Now, why lead gloves and lead aprons? Because lead has the capacity to stop even gamma rays. So penetration of gamma rays can be stopped by lead. So because of that, we have lead aprons and lead gloves, so that the radiation does not penetrate those gloves and reach our body. Also, radioactive material should be handled with long lead tongs. So if you are handling them, you handle using long lead tongs, so that you are not in direct contact with the radioactive material. Also, radioactive substances should be kept in thick lead containers with very narrow opening to stop radiation from coming out. So it is self-explanatory that if you have lead containers that are very thick, then the radioactive radiation will not come out. So it's very important that they are stored in such containers. So can you answer this question? Aprons and gloves made of dash are used to prevent exposure to radioactive radiation. Is it mercury, is it lead, or is it zinc? What do you think? Well, the correct answer is lead. So aprons and gloves made of lead are used to prevent exposure to radioactive radiation. Now, what else can we do? Well, we can use radiation badges. Radiation badges should be used to know levels of radiation absorbed. Now, the amount of radiation which is safe for a human body is known. So these badges help us understand how much radiation human body has absorbed, and as a result we can take necessary precautions. So once you wear these badges, you will be able to know how much radiation your body has absorbed, and that is very important. Now, there are certain safety precautions for nuclear power plants too, because they handle huge amount of nuclear material or radioactive material. So what are the precautions? Nuclear reactors must be shielded with lead and steel walls. Now we know that nuclear reactors handle huge amount of radioactive material. Now this material is stored inside the nuclear reactors. So if nuclear reactors are shielded with lead and steel walls, then the nuclear radiation or radioactive radiation will not come out. So it's very important that we have lead and steel walls in nuclear reactors. Also, nuclear reactors must be housed in an airtight building of strong concrete structure which can withstand earthquakes, fires and explosions. Now, why do we emphasize on strong concrete structure? Because we cannot have control over earthquakes, fires and explosions. So if these events occur, how do we make sure that radioactive material does not leak out? So we have strong concrete structures. So this allows the containment of the radioactive material. So even in the case of these calamities, the radioactive material will not leak out. So it's very important that we have such a structure for nuclear plants. Now, nuclear wastes should be stored in thick casks and buried underground far away from population. Now we know that even nuclear waste is pretty radioactive. So it's very important that they are stored in thick casks so that the radiation doesn't come out, and again they should be buried underground far away from population, so that even if there is a leakage, nobody is affected by that particular leakage. So it's very important that we have thick casks and the waste is buried underground far away from population. So now the question is, if we take all these steps, can we be completely free of radioactive radiation? That is, can we make sure that we are not exposed to any amount of radioactive radiation? Not really. We are always exposed to some or other kind of radioactive radiation which comes from nature. So there are many different sources of radioactive radiation in nature itself, and in fact inside our body too. But the amount of radiation is very small and it does not harm us. So what do we call such a radiation? We call such a radiation background radiation. So background radiation comes from environmental sources. So what are the sources of background radiation? Internal sources are potassium, that is K40, carbon C14, and radium present inside human body. So these radioactive isotopes are inside our body, but in a very limited quantity. So it does not affect our health. Then there are external sources such as cosmic rays, naturally occurring radioactive elements such as radon-222, and solar radiation. But again, the amount of radiation is very small to actually create any problems for our health. So background radiation is always there all around us, and we are actually exposed to radioactive radiation all the time.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at deltastep.com to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge, or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English, and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged, and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests, performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You also get amazing prizes like PlayStations, iPads, watches, and many more, along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at deltastep.com, learning is not just fun and easy, it's rewarding too. So register for free now.